Ciao tutti, come stai? No, I don't speak Italian. So I took this video last Sunday when I was doing my Sunday shopping in the streets of Antwerp, where I currently live. It's actually a marriage ceremony, a Turkish marriage ceremony, which was actually celebrated right in the middle of the streets. I thought it was so beautiful and really, there, down to earth. And for me, this is actually a symbol of Europe, the melting pot that has accepted people from all over this globe, giving them the space and the liberty to express themselves. This is Europe. However, Europe today is facing what the media calls the European immigration crisis. Embrace yourself, people. This is the issue, the top news on every kind of channel today. It has always existed, but the past 5 years, this has been really the current hot topic, due to the fact that the current state of war in Syria, Lebanon, Jordan, Yemen, Iraq, and all the neighboring countries that have been facing a war, and for this reason, fleeing. Even Google knows it. You're right. Europe, SYR, Syrian refugees. It's really a hot topic, huh? I mean, today in the news and the media, the #1 refugees are Syrians. Syrians are fairly a new breed to the refugee flux. Who ever heard of Syrians before this crisis? Please raise your hand. Yeah, I would. So it's quite a new blend and trend, let's say. And why so? I'm not going to sit here and dwell on the fact that Syria is a sad story. We all know that. The media does a very good job at that, and that is not my job here. The reason I'm here today is actually to tell you about Syria and the Syrian people. That's right, I'm Syrian. So what is Syria exactly? If I could speak on behalf of all the Syrians out there, I could tell you that prior to the civil war, Syria was a very safe country. Damascus, the heart of civilization and history, was, prior to the Civil War, a place that housed Jewish, Christians, Muslims harmonically with no problem whatsoever. Syrian immigrants were low before the Civil War. Syria's economy was based on commerce, agriculture, natural resources, handcraft, and many others. Syria once looked like this. This is actually a city called Hama, one of Syria's strategic and touristic places. But I'm always saying was, and it's true, this is all in the past now. Today, this is Syria. After 5 years of war and despair, people who insisted to stay there have found no other way but to run for their lives, not knowing where to go and how to get there. Some made it halfway, some lost people on the way, some are currently somewhere in the Mediterranean floating dead, and some didn't even get the taste to even experience freedom. Those who could flee out of Syria, either to Lebanon, Jordan, Iraq, Egypt, or Europe, are actually considered the lucky ones, because we are also lucky. That dark day in Belgium on Tuesday, the 22nd of March, when we decided not to take the metro to Molenbeek. And these people are also lucky because they got to flee the war. While trying to seek a place for safety, seeking a refuge is not something easy. And while you're seeking refuge, you have to shed off a lot of layers. You either lose your dignity, you lose your clothes, you lose your belongings, you lose everything, leaving you very vulnerable and desperate. But this vulnerability will soon be funneled into bravery and persistence. If you see them on the news, they close one border here, they'll find another way out. They close it here, they'll find another way out. So no is never going to be an answer. They're going to get there until they want to get there, and whatever, if they lose a leg on the way, they'll do it. But the intention is to arrive safe, because that's their mission, because they're out there to find safety in order to start a new life. Many of the Syrians out there who have sought refuge are actually young, vibrant men and women who are still ready to start from scratch again. This is actually a documentary in Al Jazeera that talks about a factory in Turkey that is now set up in Turkey, but it's 100 Syrians that are actually running it and owned by fully Syrians. So yes, we can do something like this. Even women today, who were housewives one day, are actually running mini businesses in the refugee camps to empower other Syrians like them. Those who have a lot of free time are actually making use of their time. This is actually a team called the Syrian Chef, and they are actually composed of a lawyer, 2 artists, and an athlete who were actually now waiting for their papers in the Netherlands to be processed in a center, and they said, why should we sit and just do nothing in the center? So what they did is they went to talk to the chef, and they're like, can we cook instead of you? And the chef was Dutch, like, yeah, waarom niet? So they actually now took over the kitchen, and now they're cooking for over 800 people in the center. This picture, I don't know if you guys have seen it, it went viral for quite a while. And it's actually a picture of Abdel Hakim. He's a Syrian that sought refuge in Lebanon. And his intention was actually to sell pens to make a living with his daughter on his shoulder because her mom was not with him. So he started very small, and today, thanks to social media and to a crowdfunding campaign, today he runs 3 restaurants in Lebanon, empowering 16 other Syrians like him. I can go on forever with this list of examples, something you don't usually see in the media because the media shows you the other part of the globe, let's say. But the intention, what I'm trying to say here is that these people don't need empathy or, pity or, oh, I'm sorry. Every time I tell people I'm Syrian, oh, mi dispiace, oh, I'm sorry. No, I don't want to hear that. No, that's not what I'm not saying I'm Syrian because I want to hear that. I'm saying I'm Syrian, look at me, and I'm a live example of a Syrian today that has been in Belgium for a year, and I'm standing on my feet like any other Belgian here. And this is why I'm here, actually. So the intention is to say, yes, I'm Syrian, but I couldn't have done it with all these people around me, these Belgian people. And I can take you through a little bit of how I came here, just so you can get a glimpse about it. So basically, I'm a Syrian born to both Syrian parents. But like many Arabs out there, I had to travel in order to seek better opportunities. So when I was 16, we moved to Kuwait because we were escaping the Syrian regime. Surprise. Then after that, I have to move to Lebanon to attain a bachelor's degree at the American University of Beirut. Then again, I moved to Milano to gain a master's degree. So I was always moving in order to get better opportunities and in order to say that education is my only weapon to prove myself, because apparently my passport doesn't allow me to do so. So when I finished my master's degree in Milan, where do we say the story ends there, because my visa expired, so I had to go back. Which was a bit of a pity, because I said, Ale, I want to stay here. I mean, sorry, scusa, non posso, torna a Kuwait. So I had to go back to Kuwait, where my parents still were, for a short time, because as soon as my father retired, I would have to leave with him, God knows where. So I went back to Kuwait, found my comfort zone again, started freelancing. And during that time, it was actually a bad timing, because it was actually during the time where the Charlie incidents in Paris happened. A lot of issues were happening in the news, and I remember also my brother is in Germany, and every time we heard the news, my mom would be like, thank God you got your master's degree, and now we're done. I'm like, yeah, but now I can't go back there. So what do? I should have stayed there, So for me, it was a bit like, I'm never going to see this country again or this continent because I'm blocked. But luckily, because I'm a lucky person, I get a beautiful email, an uplifting email, as an invitation to come here, to Liège actually, to work on a project called Welcome to Syria. It was actually a social innovation project, hence I'm a designer in social innovation. And they told me, you can come here for 2 weeks and we can collaborate and work on this project. And I'm like, of course I'm coming. I'm the first one. So I was really happy. I remember I was eating lunch, I was telling my parents, yeah, now I have to apply for the visa. And my dad, I remember he pauses. Yeah, good luck with that one. And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, you're Syrian, don't you get it? They're not going to accept your visa. And I'm like, Papa, I'm going for education. He's like, they don't care, you're Syrian, punto. And I'm like, I just put it aside. I'm like, whatever, Papa, it doesn't make sense. So I go with the process of applying for a visa. And unfortunately, my dad was right. It was quite a struggle to get that visa. I had to go to the embassy and beg and cry and make some drama in order to convince them I'm not going to blow myself up there, I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to go there to do this project for 2 weeks and come back. Luckily, because I'm a rebel and I'm a kind of a stubborn person, I kept insisting to talk to the ambassador. And it was my only way to get that visa, by the way. So if I hadn't been a stubborn person, I would still be somewhere, I don't know, stuck in Kuwait. So finally, I get the visa, and I'm super happy, and my parents were like, if it weren't for your hard head, you wouldn't be there. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, that's important, huh? It's a good thing to have. Huh? So I go to Belgium, happily. I remember on that plane, it was so weird, that feeling, like, the minute I got my visa, 2, 3 hours before my flight, it was really like a dramatic incident. So I'm on that plane, and I'm going there, and I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'll just go with the flow. I'm supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and I'm going to come back to Kuwait. I arrived to Belgium, but when I arrived to Belgium, I recalled the precious feeling. The feeling of freedom. Man, it was a long time I didn't have that feeling, you know. Back in Kuwait, where everything was restricted, I was an expat, I was a foreigner, I couldn't do anything. I realized that moment how much I had missed Europe, you know, that place that accepted me for who I am, that gives me such opportunities, that it does not ask me where I'm from or what sect I belong to or which part of the world I belong to. It just takes me for who I am, Yara. So, and I'm like, damn it, I'm here today, but it might be that I can't come back again. So I might as well get stuck here. But how do I get stuck here? So I had to do a lot of research and talking to people. And indeed, if I couldn't have done it with people, because I needed people who know what's going on, and I had to talk and ask and talk to lawyers and people and experts, and everyone's like, you could stay, you're a Syrian, you could totally stay, and you have a good background, you're educated, you've been in Europe before, just give it a shot. And indeed, I did give it a shot. And after 4 months of giving it a shot, I got the status to stay in Belgium. Today, I live in Antwerp, ik spreek Nederlands, ik woon in Antwerp, and ik worked in Deloitte Digital as a consultant. So yes, today I'm almost Belgium, let's say. The only thing I'm missing is a Belgian husband or boyfriend, maybe, but I'm Belgian. But I have to say one thing about Belgium, and that is the fact that I wouldn't have been here if it weren't for all the people that were around me when I was doing this process. I remember I left, you know, I'm quite strong, I'm a very independent woman, but leaving behind and deciding to stay, you don't know what's out there, you don't know the future, you're like, what's gonna happen? So I just threw myself in that context, but it was not easy. And I tell you, these are the people that actually allowed me to stay here. Nick, Virginia, Roberto, Alice, Yves, Nick, all these people, these are the people that actually I call my guardian angels, because they are the people that actually pushed me, they supported me, they housed me in their homes, they taught me how to speak Dutch, they treated me like their daughter, and I truly say that I would not be here without these people, and I do hope that I could pay them back one day. Before I get off and say goodbye, one last word I'd like to say is that I ask you all here, and whoever's listening, to just open up your hearts to these people seeking refuge in your country, and don't give them money or give them extra shoes you have, but open your arms and just listen to them, because all they need is a little bit of time, because put yourself in their shoes. They just come here, and they're, you know, not stable, so they need some time to accustom themselves. So time is super important. They need a lot of guidance because they don't know how the heck the world works here, because they came from a different continent. And they also need a lot of trust, because without trust, they feel that, you know, they don't trust me, so I can't really be myself. So trust is super important. And most important of all, they need love. And this is what made me stay, I tell you. And it's really like small stuff, you know, like you meet a Belgian and he's like, you can come over to my house today, I cook you some Belgian food. And as a foreigner, I feel like, these people are welcoming me, and this is super important. And again, I say it is the most important thing, more than money, more than anything. If you give them the time, the guidance, and the support, I promise you that they will show you what persistence, hard work, and appreciation means. Thank you.